We got Randy Weber calling in from the cloakroom there off the House floor. I think we have him. We have Congressman Randy Weber, who represents the 14th District of Texas. Congressman Weber, welcome back to Washington Watch, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Tony. Glad to be here. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you for stepping off the House floor there in the cloakroom to give us a call. So we've been discussing today's re-election of the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, and there was a little drama, not much, but some. Give us your sense of how things unfolded today.
Well, of course, there was a handful of people who had made the statements that they wouldn't necessarily support Mike Johnson, which I never personally understood. Mike, as you know him quite well, Tony, he's a man of character. He's a Christian, loves the Lord Jesus. He's a scholar. He's a scholar, legal scholar. I think he's worked on bills that have been, on filings that have been laid out before the Supreme Court. He's just the real deal. Of course, he's from Louisiana, next to Texas, strong energy state. Texas, strong energy state. Family man, has been here a while. I've watched him up close and comfortable the last, whatever it is, 8 or so years. He's been here maybe a little more. And why they wouldn't support him is beyond me, other than maybe to get attention, or maybe to call attention to some things that really, quite frankly, Speaker Johnson has already agreed to change. So I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the peer pressure. Now, I know each member of Congress is elected by their constituents, and so they're all leaders. Each one of you are leaders, but you obviously come together, you elect a leader, and you got to kind of walk together in this process. Does peer pressure come to play in a vote like this?
Well, I think if you're smart, you listen to your constituency, obviously. And I'm from very conservative districts in the Texas House. When I was in the Texas House in 2009, had the most conservative voting record. And so you listen to your constituents. Mike Johnson listens not just to his constituents in Louisiana, but the members up here who, of course, are listening to their constituents.
Right.
But you do have to balance that just a little bit and say, okay, I get this, and you need to explain that to your constituents back home, that we're trying to do the best that we can for the most that we can. So we have to have a little give or take, which, as you know, Tony, I'm a Christian conservative Republican in that order.
You are.
And so we have to say, look, we want to do what we think is best for the most. We're willing to talk. We're willing to negotiate. No name calling, no back, door deals, that kind of stuff. And I think Mike Johnson has exhibited he's exactly that kind of person you can count on, that kind of leader you can count on. So I was a little disappointed by the reluctancy of some to play ball early on.
Now, Congressman Weber, you understand this, and I would think most of the members understand this, that, of course, Mike is a very conservative man. As you described him, a Christian, conservative Republican. I've known Mike since law school. Prayed with him last night over this vote today. But the reality is when you're speaker and you've got to move things forward, the 219 members that are currently in the House that are Republican are very diverse, and trying to bring all them together takes a lot of give and take, does it not?
Yes, it does. And, of course, one thing that we love, we so appreciate Washington Watch and all the attention you draw to the process up here, and we really appreciate that, Tony. But the thing about it is you've got to be willing to give and take, and remember, you've got to be able to explain that. And if you're going to have some situations that you don't necessarily like or don't necessarily agree with, how about we get behind closed doors, and how about we hammer that out and have that discussion about give and take? Let's not do it in the social media. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that we need to learn up here. Let's have the family, get back behind closed doors, have a family discussion. I can tell you, Mike, you already know, because you know him from the past, Mike's the real deal. He's got America's best. He's got, first of all, he's a Christian, as I said. He's got God's plan on his mind. He's got America's best interest in his heart. And he's going to do the right thing. We just need to learn to have this discussion don't malign one another in the media, and actually work together.
You know, Congressman Weber, that's a great analogy as a family. I mean, if you've got a dispute with your family, if you want to resolve it, you don't go tweeting about it. You actually get into a room, you sit down and have a conversation about it and even pray about it. That's why I appreciate you. Randy Weber, thanks so much for joining us. I know you got to run down to the House floor and vote. Thanks for joining us. And again, Happy New Year to you.
Thanks, Tony. Happy New Year to you and the Lord's blessings to you.